Okay, the second scenario is when you are comparing your function to another function and not the x-axis anymore. So again, you want to see for which values of x a certain situation is occurring. So for this one, where is f of x, the parabola? Where is f of x? Below g of x. G of x is the straight line, right? So we're comparing parabola below straight line. And again, we know this is below because we have that memory tool, so this is below, okay? And so we now need to check where our graph is under the straight line. And if you have a look at the green line versus the colorful line, our graph is underneath the green line only in this little section here that I'm coloring in yellow, okay? At first glance, you can see that the green line is above our curved line in this yellow section. If you look on the left here, the colorful line is above the green line. If we look on the right, the colorful line is above the green line. And so for the first answer, right, our graph f of x is only under g of x from this point up to that point, right? And this point over here is, of course, where x is 0, and this point over here is where x is 2. And so our graph, the parabola, is underneath the straight line between 0 and 2. And so when x is bigger than 0 but less than 2, our graph will be underneath the green graph, right? So again, for the x values between 0 and 2, our graph is under the green graph. The second scenario is where the parabola is above the straight line. And that happens over here. So let's have a look. If we look on the right hand side here, to the right of this point, the colorful line is very much above the green line, okay? And then that happens again over this side, where the colorful line is above the green line, right? So when the green line is, say, at a certain value for y, maybe 1, our graph for that same x value is much higher, okay? So that happens again from this blue dot and then after the second blue dot that I'm drawing. And so the answer here happens in two situations. It happens on this side and then it happens again over here on this side. And so the parabola is above the straight line when x is less than 0, so going to the left. Or the second time that happens is when x is larger than 0, right? Because if these functions were to continue with these same shapes, my parabola is still going to be above the straight line, right? Let's say we're taking a value over here, right? For the same value, the parabola is much higher than the straight line. And so again, this is the two situations where it happens. When x is smaller than 0, so -1, -2, -2, -3 onwards. And again, when x is bigger than 2, the parabola, the colorful graph, is above the green graph. Also, if they were to put this added element here with the smaller than or equal to, you just change it accordingly in your answer. You just add this, the equal to symbol, in the answer as well.